Hey guys, so today we're going to be talking about my favorite thing ever, and that is princess treatment and beauty. I really hope that you can't hear the grass cutter outside. I swear to God, every time I try to film, it's like always something. There's an ice cream truck, there's a grass cutter, there's an echo. I don't even know what to say anymore. But anyways, let's just jump right in. This topic has been weighing a lot on my mind because we have these influencers or these dating coaches online that tell you why and what you have to do to get that princess treatment. But I think that collectively, we're all sort of starting to wake up and realize that what a lot of these people are saying doesn't really make any sense. And I don't really think that it makes sense because people are forgetting that, like, you're dealing with another human being. We like to do this thing where we like to treat the opposite gender like they're just like this robot and they're completely stereotypical, and everything that we know of them, we're just boiling them all down into like the simplest, not even just the simplest, but the worst stuff that we can think about with them. And we think that really stupid mind fucky tactics are gonna work on them as if they don't have a mind of their own. I think the female self help influencers that also do a lot of dating content really exposed this uncomfortable truth to me about women. And honestly, it is that we are no better than men. We're no different than them. We're just as shallow. We already complain about like we hate men that are shallow, but women are really not much better. We act like because we're beautiful, we deserve princess treatment. We act like because another woman is beautiful, she knows exactly what she's talking about. We act like because a woman is beautiful, she deserves a relationship where she is treated like a princess, where there is no cheating, where there is no toxicity. And I think really this caught everybody's attention is when the wizard Liz unfortunately got cheated on. Everybody went nuts. People couldn't believe it. They were like, how could this girl? She's so pretty. She has her everything together when you don't even know her. We see people who have a life that we aspire to have, and suddenly they are the most deserving of everything good. That was the uncomfortable truth that was revealed to me after this whole thing. So after that whole debacle, I think people started to, this fucking grass cutter, people started to wake up to this phenomenon going on, and people started to realize these self-help influencers, a lot of them are very dishonest. A lot of them don't actually teach you how to be a healthy person or the best version of yourself, because a lot of them don't even tell you the real truth of how they got to where they are. And that's like, fine, that's none of my business. But what I'm saying is that they're always leading with aggression, and I don't really think that that's going to be the way that you're going to get princess treatment. The amount of times I see girls on TikTok like demanding, like almost angrily or like with a bad attitude, that because I'm pretty and like I'm going to make you look better, and because you're in my presence, that's going to give you like a higher societal like standpoint. You should be lucky to be in my presence, therefore you need to treat me like a queen. I really hope that I'm not the only one who's starting to look at this and be like, this is like kind of crazy. This is kind of wild. If you look at a man and he starts saying, I'm above 6 feet and I'm rich and I'm hot and I'm cool and smart, you better feel honored to be in my presence because I'm a king. Would you want to be in his presence? I wouldn't. So why do we think that because it's us who are doing it, that it's totally okay and that other people should just automatically see the value in that? That's where my issue is coming in. They're not teaching you how to be an actually interesting person. Men are not this stupid. A lot of them are, but I would like to give them the benefit of the doubt and say that not all of them are. You know, not all of them just want a trophy wife who just looks really pretty. A lot of them want somebody who is interesting, who can engage in conversation, who can listen, who can also interact, who can also interject and give like their own interesting thoughts. That's what makes you stand out. I think we all know that beauty is not that unique anymore. Like, you turn anywhere on social media, girls are pretty. And it's makes sense. I mean, everything in our timeline has gotten better. We've got better skincare, we've got better makeup, we've got better hair care, we've got plastic surgery, and obviously I'm against none of those things. I actually think that us having access to all those better things is a good thing. I know you could argue that maybe you think that's a bad thing. I don't. I think it's a really good thing. But because of that, beauty is more common. Beauty is also so subjective. So I don't know why people think like because I'm pretty, you should be honored to be in my presence. Somebody might look at you and not find you the most attractive person in the world, and then somebody else might look at you and think you're the most attractive thing in the world. So, you see what I'm saying? Beauty does not make you special. Beauty makes you beautiful. It makes you appealing to look at. It can catch somebody's eye, but is it going to make you stand out? And the reason why I also brought up the whole like phenomenon and this uncomfortable truth that made me realize that women are just as shallow as men is this is something that I can't stand when I see. When a man leaves a girl who is deemed as super gorgeous and like this 10 out of 10, and they don't work out, and he opts for a girl who might not be as physically attractive in like the eyes of the public, people get so shocked. They're like, her, like, how did you go from her to her? And then they start tearing apart what this other girl who might not be as beautiful as this one looks. And I look at that and I'm like, women, you guys hate it when men objectify us, which we should. So why are you doing the exact same thing? If not, even worse. At least men can look at it and be like, yeah, okay, she might be prettier, but they have a little bit more of this like nuance to where like they understand like beauty is not the only thing that's gonna get you a faithful, successful relationship. That's at least in my experience. That's what I notice. Another reason why I just don't think you should be so heavily reliant on the way you look is there are so many beautiful girls out there who are also like the opposite side of like the female self-help thing. There's so many beautiful girls who will settle for trash. There are, contrary to a lot of men's belief, there's so many stunning, beautiful, smart girls out there who will allow a man to treat her like trash, and who will allow disrespect, who will allow low effort, low maintenance relationships. So if you're also beautiful, if he's got two beautiful girls and you are demanding to be treated like a princess in a way that might not be very appealing to a person, and then there's this other beautiful girl who's kind of like letting him get away with whatever he wants, what do you think he's gonna be initially attracted to? The girl who lets him get away with whatever he wants. Right? Like, we all know that. I don't think that that's necessarily always going to work out. I think that even he knows that, like, this is not a relationship that he holds to a high value or respects the partner as much. But, like, whatever is easy is going to be what they're going to be first inclined to go to. But and the other way is, like, yeah, you're demanding respect, but you're doing it in a really goofy way. So you're even scaring off people who are healthy. Because if a healthy person is looking at you, they're like, okay, yeah, I would like to spoil somebody, but like, I don't want to spoil somebody who is not likable. I don't want to spoil somebody who lacks dynamic behaviors. I want to see vulnerability. I want to see firmness, though. I want to see kindness and softness, but I also want to see that they can be serious and respect themselves. That's how you actually attract a healthy partner. And guys, I'm not saying that beauty does not help. Sure, it helps a lot. I do think it does. I think that when you look high maintenance, people are a little bit more aware that you are going to be a little bit more high maintenance, and they could either, make the decision to be like, okay, she's a little too much for me, let me stay away, or they could be one of those guys that want to humble you. So I think that's the other scary part about being pretty, because we all know that guys like that do definitely exist, but that's why I say being beautiful does not guarantee that you're gonna get that princess treatment. So you need to show that you are a human being. You're not just pretty. You're not just a bitch. You're not just a good time girl. You need to show that you're very well-rounded, that there's a lot to you. Honestly, the best thing that you can do is make somebody feel happy to be in your presence by being positive, by being somebody who's interesting, by being something who shows interest in what other people are saying. Have good manners. Don't just be stuck up and the other thing too that a lot of people say is like, oh, like when he gets you gifts, like don't show him that you're excited because you want to show him that you're just used to this. I'm sorry, that is crazy to me. When you listen to advice like that, I want you to listen with empathetic ears and think, if I was constantly going out of my way to do something really nice for somebody and they were not showing any excitement or any gratitude or appreciation for the things that I'm doing, am I going to want to continue to do those things? Or am I going to think to myself, this is kind of toxic. This feels like an emotionally unavailable person who's going to make me feel like I'm constantly chasing a high and not getting anything back. What makes more sense to you? If you think about it in the sense of your parents, if you constantly were bringing home good grades and you just wanted to hear your parents tell you that they were proud of you and they just looked at you like, well, that's what you're supposed to do, are you going to feel motivated to keep bringing home those good grades? It's the same thing here. I don't know why people like take romance and they like flip it on its head and they make it the most impossible, painful thing on the face of the universe. Like, I'm telling you right now, people have feelings and people feel like if you don't appreciate them, if you don't enjoy their company, they're not going to want to be in your company if they are healthy, if they are a healthy person. And I would not advocate for you to be in a relationship of any sort with a person who is not healthy, who is not putting their best foot forward. But if we're going to expect other people to put their best foot forward, we have to also put our best foot forward. Dating is not a competition. It's not a who can get who to fall for who the fastest and the hardest and who has the most power. It's not that. This is a teamwork. This is your partnership, hopefully for life. But that's not what it feels like anymore. It always just feels like, what's going to gratify me? What's going to make me look good? How do I appear to other people? Like, nobody's considering anybody else's feelings in this, and that's why I think all of this just feels, that's why even the word princess treatment is such a trigger for men. They hate it because when they hear princess treatment, that's what they think of. They think of those women who are like, I will contribute nothing but how beautiful I look. Not even realizing the fact that one day your good looks are going to not be the same because you're going to age. Because even when you get plastic surgery, when you age, it's not going to hold up the same as when you're like 24. And we don't like that reality, right? So instead of thinking about in the now and what makes us look good now, like, oh, I'm pretty now, so I should have whatever I want, let's think down the line. What happens when a girl who is a lot younger than you comes around when you're no longer the same age? Your beauty from when you were 20 years ago is not going to save you then. And even with all that, right, you of course could still do everything right. You could be beautiful, you could be a great person, you could make a person feel very lucky to be in your presence, and they could still fuck it up. You get what I mean? Like, there's only so much control that we have over everything in our life. And I think with these people who make these videos about dating or princess treatment, they act like you have all the power, and sometimes we don't, and that's okay. Like, there's something freeing about realizing, like, hey, I really could do everything right, and sometimes it's not my fault. Sometimes things just happen. Maybe that person just is not a good person. But like, instead of just thinking like I deserve X, Y, and Z because I'm pretty, let's just think about putting our best foot forward and opening ourselves up to the human experience, which is knowing, hey, if I get into a relationship with this person, of course there's a possibility where it can be like the best decision I've ever made, or the possibility that it doesn't work out and I may get hurt. I know it's scary. Nobody likes the idea of getting hurt. And I know that you may listen to this and think, how is that supposed to be comforting to hear? Like, if I know that I could do everything right and I could still get screwed over, all you're telling me is to stay single. I understand. I truly, truly do. But if you're somebody who actually wants a healthy relationship that is not based off of shallowness, because I do think shallowness is the most dangerous thing. Shallowness is what ruins relationships and prevents people from becoming better people, then I think this is worth considering. Ultimately, I think that healthy men and healthy women both want the same thing out of a partner, and that's stability. And stability obviously looks different to men and women. So like if you ask a man what he means by a stable woman, it's going to be different than what a woman says that she wants out of a stable man. But I think that creating a healthy partnership, that's the easiest way for you to want to spoil your partner and for them to want to spoil you. Not just a superficial, I'm pretty, give me whatever I want, and I'm not going to like give a shit about you, because that's the other thing too, right? Like, we're human beings. We're social creatures. We're not designed to just think so shallowly. Like, eventually you're going to start catching feelings for the person. Eventually you're going to actually like lower things that you said I would never tolerate before, because you will grow to love somebody. So that's why you also can't even maintain, it's like, well, I don't do this and I don't do that, because if it doesn't fit this very specific image, then I just don't want anything to do with it. Because when you start to fall in love with that person, you'd be surprised, you become a lot more lax. So just like be a normal person from the jump. Like, don't be like this picture perfect, like Instagrammable like thing that doesn't have the ability to even slightly deviate out of something that is so stereotypical. Think about the qualities that you hope your future partner has, not just about like wealth and spoiling, right? Think about personality qualities that makes you think, hey, yeah, like if I had that type of partner, I really would want to spoil them. And then ask yourself, do I have the right qualities that I think would be beneficial and healthy for that partner, that would make me somebody that somebody wants to spoil? Not because I'm demanding it, but because it would mean a lot to me and I would be very appreciative of it. Ask yourself those questions. I know sometimes those are hard questions because we don't want to think of ourselves in a way that we have flaws, especially because, when we're women, we interact with other women and we always see each other's good qualities, but like, we're always like, oh, how come men miss these qualities, right? Get that negativity out of your head. Really ask yourself, do I present myself with my best foot forward? And that doesn't mean just looking like a total 10 all the time. It means being a dynamic, interesting, likable, but firm, strong, respected person. You get what I'm saying? I hope that didn't sound too all over the place. I had to like pause a lot because of this grass cutter. He was like really throwing me off. And then lastly, think about those influencers that preach this type of content, that preach this type of like main character, I deserve everything. Because now, we have everybody who almost looks the same these days, which again, I'm not like dissing anybody for that, but like everybody looks a very similar way. So everybody's kind of competing for this main character, I deserve it all. Ask yourself, besides how beautiful she looks and the fact that she has a lot of money, how does she act behind closed doors? I don't know. Does she seem like somebody who has all the right qualities that deserves to be spoiled? I don't know. Anyways, I'm gonna leave you guys with that, and I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, like it and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one.